So Max Weber, in his sociology of culture, makes a distinction between three types of authority. One is what he calls traditional authority, the authority of the family, of custom and religion, for example. Rational legal authority, which is the authority of logic, science, rationality, obviously. Um, Utilitarian ends constitute rational legal authority. And then there's the third form, which is charismatic authority, which is kind of a justification not from some dogma or not from some justified principle, but just because the person seems to have like this inner sense of what is true, and they've tapped into like the truth of the world or something like that. And Max Weber's thesis is that the traditional and the charismatic forms of authority are declining, and rational legal is increasing with the spread of bureaucracy and what he calls the instrumental rationality. So he really sees that as determining everything. All of our lives are being administered, and we're ending up stuck in this iron cage where we're living in a world which is disenchanted, which has no spirit, which has no room for imagination, because we want to know everything, and we want everything to be an object to us, and so we live in this kind of disenchanted world. And I sort of disagree with that, because in our time, in our postmodern time, maybe this thesis only works for modernity, but in our postmodern time, it seems like most things are justified by charismatic authority, where people and we've seen the rise of like New Age religions, fundamentalism, all these other new modes of belief that have like appeared out of the modern worldview. And so I also think like kind of the way we justify things to ourselves and other people it's not really on the basis of conscious deliberation or like considerations about the greater good. We just kind of do what feels best, or what seems, or we like what seems awesome or cool or whatever like that. There's no real rational justification a lot of times for why you think what you think or what you believe, and that's like the relativism that says everything is just subjective. Previously everything was objective, now we've made it subjective. I don't know if that's any better, because you're still working with a belief that there is a subject independent of an object, and an object independent of a subject, which is kind of problematic. But anyways, I think that the charismatic authority in postmodern culture can still kind of be oppressive. Max Weber argued that the rational legal authority was oppressive because it was preventing individuals from finding meaning in the world and living a meaningful life where they didn't objectify nature, for example, or subject themselves to rational discipline every moment of the day, which he thought was very harmful for the imagination. But I think we're very driven by the imagination. It's required in the kind of work we do. And if you look at the way entrepreneurs and business people work, they, not that that's actually work in producing things, but a lot of their justifications are like charismatic justifications, and that what they do is based on reason, because they are maximizing their utility, but there's also like a creative element now in today's capitalism that just wasn't there previously, and I think that may account for the increase of charisma. I know, like, if you compare schools to what they were in the past. I think the learning experience is very different too. Like the teacher is more charismatic. The teacher will make jokes and laugh and do all of this extra charismatic stuff that they never did in the past, where they were just a disciplinarian who taught you what to learn and instilled discipline and socialized you in this way. Now it's like the teacher's almost your friend. The teacher is really close to the student, but I still think you're getting that hidden curriculum in there as well. You're still being made into this individual through the school system. But so that's just one example. Also obviously in the media, celebrities are kind of charismatic authorities as well. They're not, I wouldn't call them traditional authorities or rational legal authorities, because they don't really give any justification. People follow what they say, and just because it's them, right? And so it's kind of like there's a return to like almost religious forms in our culture, and I don't know if this is a good thing or not, because we end up supporting things that on further reflection seem pretty absurd. Maybe that's the influence of existentialism, I don't know, but it's just something to consider.